to this edition of Ask a Nurse. And today we have a very simple question. And it comes from Jersey Love Staff. And she said to me, "Hey Annie, how do I recognize a stroke?" Well, good question. But before I get into the acronym on how you can quickly recognize a stroke, which is FAST, right? I'll get into that in a second, but I want to explain to you that there's three different types of stroke. There's your trans ischemic attacks, TIAs. These are arteries that get blocked temporarily, right? This could happen for minutes or hours, but they're blocked temporarily, so you don't even know you're having a TIA, trans ischemic attack, because you never had a stroke. The artery was blocked temporarily, but then it became unblocked, right? So TIAs resolve themselves. Mini strokes usually resolve themselves, and people don't even realize they're having them. Then we have your hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, these are the strokes where the artery gets blocked in your brain, right? That's what causes the stroke, is the lack of oxygen to your brain. So depending on where that artery is clogged in your brain, that's what's you're gonna have trouble with after you have the stroke, like the swallowing and eating and talking, or motor, or I'll show you a picture in that nice atlas that I did in Ask a Nurse episode 1. I'll show you a picture of the brain, okay? And I'll explain that with a voiceover. And then the third type of stroke is what we're all very familiar with, and that's basically your massive heart attack. All right. If you have a massive heart attack, you had a massive stroke, right? If you have a massive stroke, you have a heart attack. So that's basically your three types: trans ischemic attack, hemorrhagic strokes, and your ischemic strokes, where you actually have a heart attack. All right. Now let's go to the atlas and let's look at what part of the brain. Let's look at that nice brain that I showed you, and we'll discuss it further, shall we? Do you have a medical concern, or perhaps a question or a situation that you think a retired nurse could help you with? Email me to the email you see on your screen. If you want to be anonymous, please let me know in the email, and I'll see what I can do. So guys, here's that beautiful human body atlas. Thank you, Distracted Me, who made it possible. And let's look at the brain here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. We want to look under the neuro system. Here we go, the nervous system. Here we go. I hope you can see it. Can you guys see it? Okay, this is a beautiful picture of the brain, but it breaks it down even more. Let's see here. Let's see. I think I'm looking for a bigger picture. Actually, let's see if it's under the head. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, beautiful. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty, guys. Look at this beauty. Alright, I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see it, just look at the picture and I'll point to it. Okay, this green part here is our frontal lobe, right? Well, if the arteries get blocked in this pink area, okay, you're going to have trouble with motor. You're going to have trouble with motor and speech. You're going to have trouble with speech here. All right? If the arteries get blocked in this purple area here of the brain, which is the temporal lobe, part of the temporal lobe, you're going to have trouble with auditory hearing, right? If you have a blockage to the back of your brain, here known as the occipital lobe, you're going to have trouble with the vision. Okay, here's your visual cortex. All right, if you have a blocked artery in this red area here, you're going to have trouble with reading comprehension. You see? So the moral of the story is, depending on where the arteries get blocked in your brain, lack of oxygen causes a stroke. That's what you're going to have trouble with. Motor is walking, speech, of course, is speaking, also swallowing, stuff like that. Auditory is hearing, visual is your eyes. Okay, this red area here, which is part of your parietal lobe, um, you're going to have trouble with reading comprehension. Very interesting stuff from a nursing point of view. But I just wanted to take the time and explain this from a practical point of view, from your question point of view. Now, the reason I'm saying all this, the types of stroke, what part of the brain uh, will affect the stroke. I'm not going to talk about treatment, but I will talk about symptoms. What can you expect? When should you call 911, right? What would you expect to see in a stroke? And we do that by understanding the acronym FAST. So let's look at that. So, Steph, I'm going to give you this acronym to remember, and that is the acronym FAST, right? Now, your original question was, how do I spot a stroke? So, I'm not going to talk about, how to treat it, what medications you take for a stroke. That's kind of complicated, right? Take that up with the doctor, right? Because this is for advice only. And should you have an actual medical emergency, consult your primary care provider in your area. But Stephanie asked a general question, and that was, how do I spot a stroke? Well, Stephanie, remember F for face. And if you see one side of the person's face drooping, this is known as Bell's palsy. But if it looks like one side of their face is drooping, if it looks like their eye is drooping, call 911, right? Then we go to the A in the acronym FAST, and that stands for arm. Usually people that have a stroke will have left-sided weakness, so they will feel it in their left arm. They will also feel it in their jaw area. Okay? But if their left arm starts to tingle or feels weird, and they had a history of stroke, or they have high blood pressure, that is a sign. Call 911. Then we have speech. If the person all of a sudden can't pronounce their words, if they sound drunk, okay, for no reason at all. Remember I said whatever area of the brain gets the artery blocked, that's where you're going to have difficulty. And right in the frontal lobe, we have the motor and the speech, right in the front of our brain. So if a person all of a sudden sounds drunk and they haven't been drinking, call 911. And then you want to remember the word, the letter T for time. Time to call is immediately. You don't want more than 3 to 5 minutes to pass. Listen, the bottom line is, the quicker we can treat a stroke, the more positive outcome there is of the person getting over the stroke, right? So call 911 as soon as you see any of these symptoms. Don't let 3 to 5 minutes pass. That's the safe area, 3 to 5 minutes, right? So there you go, Steph. So just remember the acronym FAST, which stands for face, arm, speech, and time immediately. The sooner the better. I hope this helped you, and I will see you in the next Ask a Nurse video.